Hey guys, welcome to FX Forecasting. It has been an insane week. Obviously, we have the elections that have been going absolutely nuts. As we sit here, we're obviously recording on Friday to get you this content for Sunday. And Biden sat at roughly, 269 at the moment, or nearabouts there, isn't he?
Projections, yeah.
Yeah, projections. So he's nearly pushing it over the line. And again, just want to say thank you so much for joining us on our live broadcast of the elections. It was an exciting evening, and we had loads of people tuning in. Over 200,000 views so far. So amazing stuff there. Let's get straight into the forecasting and see what we've got lined up. So rather than doing any direction on euro against the US dollar, I'm just highlighting the range that we've basically been working in. We can see that price has been moving up now to the highs. We've got a well-formed range there, a couple of bounces on each side that you can see. You can see them all highlighted along here. And from this, we were saying that we weren't looking to take short trades unless we saw a breakout of this previous low and price to move down. And exactly the same there, looking for the upside. I don't think we'll be looking to take long positions unless we quite clearly break out of this range. And even more concern is that we've then got these highs up here. If we see a break of these highs, we could then actually say that we have a confirmed direction. So for now, there is a massive amount of caution around trading euro US dollar. Again, it is in an uptrend, but we are at a major resistance level, and that is something that we want to consider on our trading plan. Nonetheless, with the trend in the upwards direction on the daily time frame, coming down to the 15 minutes here, we can see that we've got some nice cluster setups on the pullbacks there from election night, and then the trend's been steadily moving up since then. We had price break through R1, which is resistance zone 1 that you can see here on the pivot points, and you can see that how price came back down, retested that, and then obviously on Friday morning there tested the UK pivot point before rejecting it and moving up. And also we had two great entries there from the Cluster 2.0 algo from our website, showing you potential entries there of where you could have joined this rally. So for now, again, we're very cautious that this level up here that we're looking at is the highs on the daily range. We are expecting a pullback with price to come back up and retest that. Theoretically, we should be looking for a break higher, but who knows? As you've seen on the daily time frame, you can see that price is bouncing between that range. So again, staying well clear of euro against the US dollar for now until we get a clear break. So moving on against pound US dollar daily, again, a similar scenario that you can see here. We can see that the range is formed. As of Friday, we can see that price looks like it could be breaking out to the upside. I have been trading a completely different way from my system of following the trend. I've been short selling. You can see these on the daily up here. You can see actually my entry short, following into the spikes. And again, I am looking to go short again, as we had, I won't talk too much about Brexit, but we have had talks break down again on one of the EU trade deals. And it's I expect that we're going to get more negative news around Brexit up until January, as I've been saying now for probably the last 3 or 4 weeks. So I want to take advantage of these spikes and short into that weakness. If I do see a breakout higher, though, of this, I'm assuming it would do that based off of fundamental news, and that I might then trade slightly different and adjust my trading plan. But for now, I am looking at overall taking short sell positions. This is kind of what I'm looking at doing. Again, looking at these sort of spikes in heavy selling coming into them and taking advantage of that. And again, on Friday, don't want to place a trade on Friday and hold it over the weekend. So I'll review on Monday, tomorrow morning, and see exactly what I am looking to do. But this is my overall idea and concept, is that we're at that range high. I am looking to short into negative news, hopefully forming from Brexit, and look to target lower levels of where we've seen the price bounce before. So again, trading pound US dollar is very much a fundamental aspect at this moment in time in my trading plan. You would have seen, well, you won't see just yet, but coming out this week, you'll see on one of the Trade of the Week videos how some of the individuals have been taking advantage of the rallies into pound against the US dollar as well. So I'm completely different in that side, taking advantage of the short sell positions. So it's nice to see two different angles to that. But yeah, my overall bias is shorts on pound against the US dollar. It's been playing out for me very nicely, looking at overextensions in the price and shorting into that. And you can see here's another prime example of that rejection there of R1 all the way down to S1 throughout that election night. So it's something that I am focusing on my short sell positions. Moving on to US dollar against the Japanese yen. This is actually the forecast picture that we had from last week, and I just wanted to show you exactly what we was predicting. We said that it's at that 104 level now. We expect price to rally up a little bit before it sells off again. So that was what our prediction was, and this is me showing how it actually panned out in the next picture. And you can see here that price was here, rallied up a little bit, and then it broke all the way down through that 104 level, as we have been predicting quite nicely on US dollar against the Japanese yen. So our prediction last week on that was right again. My overall action plan of what I'm looking at happening on the US dollar against the Japanese yen is very straightforward. Again, I am very short bias on this currency pair. I am expecting a little bit of a rally though to come back in. It would be natural to see it retest back off that 104 level before confirming a further move to the downside. I don't expect this to go in a straight line. I mean, there is the chance that it could move all the way down to this previous low based off of some of the fundamental outcomes that are to come from the election news and stuff like that, which I'm sure Elliot will cover in a little bit. But yeah, I'm expecting a rally back to 104 and then selling off again. If we look at the smaller time frame, short bias here, you can see how we had a bit of choppiness between the moving averages crossing over and then crossing back again, followed by a nice setup to go short there on the cluster. We've got the trend down here. The trend is down on the daily, and you can see that we had this support level that was sort of broken, turned into resistance level, and this level here is one of the support levels, but this level along here is the 104 level, and you can see that when it broke that level, broke down quite aggressively, and I'm expecting price to naturally come up probably on the Monday and look to come back up to this sort of level here before we then can join in and see the sell-off. So that is my technical outlook. So Euro US dollar, I'm sat on the side again whilst we maintain that daily range. It is too much of indecision for us bouncing between those two levels. Pound US dollar is a fundamental play at this moment in time, and I'm looking to short sell into price spikes to the upside with the hopes and sort of main goal that we have negative Brexit fundamental news coming out over the next period up until January. And US dollar against the Japanese yen, we are looking at short sell positions once we see that rejection of the 104 level. So that's me from a technical point of view. I'm going to be handing over to Elliot now, who's going to run down through what has been an absolute manic week in the fundamentals of the market and also what to expect in your coming week. So that's me done on technicals. It's now over to fundamentals. I hope you've enjoyed my part.
Thanks for that, Sam. Some interesting technicals, and well, US dollar yen set up lovely, didn't it? Broke through that 104 level. Obviously seen, well, you would have known, it's been US election week. And as Sam mentioned, we covered it live here on YouTube. We had some crazy amount of views. Really enjoyed the evening. It was a long night, but it was pretty good, wasn't it? It was pretty fun. It was frantic awesome. News coming out as the polls were changing. Obviously, everyone was expecting Biden and a blue wave, so Biden to take both the presidency and the Senate, which would have meant he would have been able to push through his agenda come January. We probably would have seen a big stimulus deal coming out of the US. So I think markets were sort of looking forward to that to an extent. Then halfway through the evening, it looked like Trump was going to do a repeat of 2016 and take the presidency again, get his second term. However, latest news is looking like Biden has sort of pipped him to it, and he's very close to crossing the line now. Still at this time have some key swing states to sort of finalise their vote. However, projections are looking very favourable towards Biden, getting over that 270 mark. So he's just taken the lead. Well, he took the lead in Georgia on Friday morning. So yeah, it's looking pretty good for Biden. However, I'm getting the feeling it's going to get messy. You may have seen that Trump is making some big claims about fraud, voting in fraud. I've seen, videos on social media of people that are saying that we have registered voters that are actually dead. So people that were born in the 1900s that have voted, apparently, but they've actually been dead, some since 1984. So he's gone to the courts. Some of the cases have already been thrown out, rejected. He had a win in Pennsylvania, which allowed his campaign observers to watch the votes and make sure that everything was being done above board. However, I don't think we've seen the end of this yet. I think this is going to drag on for a while longer, especially if Biden's announced as a confirmed winner in the next couple of days.
I mean that could mess with this forecast really, because we're filming this on a Friday, so we don't know. We could hear something in the later hours today of the US markets. So bear with us. This is as of midday on Friday of what we're analysing. But with what's been going on, anything could happen over the weekend as well.
Yeah, exactly. We've left it as late as we could. So this is sort of the how things stand as of the moment. So you can see Biden's projected, he's already at 264, so he needs 270 to take the presidency, and Trump's on 214. We still have these sort of key states yet to finalise and confirm. So Pennsylvania, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina and Arizona. In terms of the Senate, it looks like Republicans are going to just keep the Senate, keep control. So McConnell will be looking like he will be majority leader, which makes it interesting, but that's currently what's sort of priced in the markets. Looking at other news throughout the week, I mean, it has been dominated by the election, but that doesn't mean that there hasn't other things been going on. COVID wave 2 is still very much taking control of Europe. We've also seen a new mutation found in the mink population of Denmark. So there's actually been reports that this has been transferred back to humans as well. So it's a new strain of COVID. The scientists are still waiting to find out a bit more about this. However, it looks like it might be more resistant to vaccines. So it could be an interesting development to come in the next week or so. But it's not only Europe struggling with coronavirus. We're seeing it across the world now. Asia, the cases are creeping up, especially in Japan. China due to temporary halt on, I believe, manufacturing. And the US has become the first country to hit daily cases of over 100,000. I mean, it's crazy. And
it's a lot.
More worryingly, we said, I believe on the previous one, that the markets aren't too worried about the daily cases. Obviously, that is looking bad. It's more when the hospitals are starting to struggle. Because when the hospitals start to struggle and they can't take more patients, that's when, you've seen it in the UK, governments then have to step in and say, right, we need to enforce a lockdown before the hospitals are overwhelmed. And, the latest reports coming out of the US that could trigger another lockdown before Thanksgiving. So in the next couple of weeks, if the cases continue to rise at the current pace. And I think all this is going to lead to we're going to see double-dip recessions across Europe, especially where they've had to enforce lockdowns. I believe France again announced record cases on Thursday. And we've already seen the Bank of England on Thursday step in and announce another 150 billion worth of QE. And the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, has extended furlough 80% until March, which is going to lead to debt that we're going to have to, as taxpayers, pay off. So over the next year. So I envisage,
or you can just get a work permit somewhere. Clear off.
Do a runner. But I envisage, once the vaccine's out and once things start to settle down, we're going to see tax hikes, especially in the UK. Obviously we're filming this on Friday and we're going to see NFP today. Current figures are expected to be lower than last month at 9.3. So we've got NFP on Friday. We're expecting to see a slowdown from the previous month. Finally, Mitch McConnell has come out and said that the US need a stimulus deal and this needs to be done before the end of the year. And that's job one. Obviously, Congress comes back in. They had a break during the elections and they're coming back in on Friday. So expect to see more news coming out of that next week. let's have a look at Dow Jones. So I've got Wall Street here on the 4-hourly. I've highlighted, obviously, last week we saw a big sell-off back towards from 28,500 towards 26,000. We then saw early in the week a strong recovery come off that. And then obviously you had a bit of selling coming to the election, and then once it sort of became clear that Biden looked like he was going to have the presidency with a Republican-controlled Senate, we've seen that sort of rally continue. However, that rally has started now to stall at this sort of resistance zone of 28,500. So we've seen here, I've just highlighted sort of previous tests and rejections of that sort of zone. The most recent one was back last week, and obviously after that we saw a strong sell-off, which obviously was more fundamentally driven than technical, but it does seem like quite a respected level. So obviously it's Friday here going into the weekend. We're probably not going to look to place trades today because, like I say, the election is still, although it looks like Biden's won, there's still going to be, I think there's still going to be developments over the weekend with Trump and his legal battle. Yeah, the recounts, if there's less than 1% within.
Well, they're trying to get a recount in Michigan, aren't they?
Yeah, so there's already been states announcing a recount, and that'll take 10 days to do. But I'm more worried about sort of the fraud allegations. Obviously, the mainstream media is sort of saying there's no evidence to these allegations. However,
you are seeing a lot of stuff just circling around online about how you're seeing like ballots getting burned and strange random people picking up duffel bags of ballots and then like where they're going, are you officials? So I mean, I just don't understand if there wasn't that sort of stuff going on. Why
it's hard to know what to believe, right?
It's very hard to know.
There's definitely some stuff that's been made up that's going around, and it's just not true. But then there's a lot of stuff out there that you seem to think, well, is there more to this? And even if there was more to this, would it actually come to light? Because could you imagine that it did come out there was fraud? What that would mean for future elections? Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it'd have to be a full overhaul. Yeah.
So interesting times, still developments to come, and obviously coming up to the weekend, we're not going to look to place trades. However, next week's a new week, and should bring some new opportunities. So what is happening next week? So upcoming. Again, we mentioned continuation of sort of the US election, confirmation on the result, and any fallout from possible voting fraud. I personally can't see Trump accepting gracefully. I think he's sort of made his bed now that he's come out with what he's said, especially on sort of Thursday evening. It's going to be interesting to see how that develops over the next week or so. We've also got GDP coming out on Thursday, which is going to be interesting numbers. CPI, Consumer Price Index, out of the US on Thursday. Probably won't be too much attention on that just because of the Fed's comments that they're, even if it does spike up, the Fed are going to sort of allow inflation to run its course before stepping in with interest rates. And then, just basically stimulus deal package and Brexit developments. Haven't really touched on Brexit too much in this episode, but it's coming towards crunch time now, really, isn't it? We're in November now. Still no sort of confirmation or what a deal looks like. Obviously, there's news coming out regularly, but we need some sort of, more solid sort of what is actually going to happen. Obviously, Sam, as he mentioned, he's bearish on pound. Doesn't expect to see good news coming out. It's all up to play for. It's just becoming a big mess. But that's to be expected with Brexit. Really, it has been a mess sort of the whole time through, hasn't it? So, so interesting things to come up. Obviously, we've had an interesting week with the election. It's been good fun, but it's not over yet.
No, exactly. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed our weekly forecast as well. Don't forget that we are giving away cash every weekly forecast to one of our lucky winners. The winner will be in the pinned comment down below. So if you see your name, get in contact. In the description, there's a little WhatsApp link. Click it, add me, and send me your cash out details if that's your name. And you'll be our lucky winner. You have to stay tuned If you want to enter into next week, you have to enter in below as well in the same pinned comment, and you'll be able to see if you've won next week by watching the next week's video. If you do not watch the video and you do not claim your prize, then the cash prize rolls over to the next week for a double dip. It nearly happened this week, but they claimed it literally a day before. So overall, guys, thank you so much for supporting us and our journey on YouTube. Don't forget to thumbs up, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.